What happens when love turns into obsession, and obsession spirals into a bloodbath? In a peaceful Australian town, a family was living a quiet, content life. But in 2014, that peace was shattered by a horrifying act of revenge. A teenage girl rejected her boyfriend. Days later, her entire family was brutally murdered. The killer? Someone they all knew and once trusted. This is the story of the Hunt family murders. A terrifying reminder that the most unimaginable crimes often come from those closest to us. The Hunt family lived in Lockhart, a small town in New South Wales, Australia. It was the kind of place where everyone knew each other. A farming town with rolling fields and quiet streets. Greg Hunt, the father, was a hard-working man known for his generosity. Kim Hunt, his wife, was a kind woman with a nurturing spirit. They had 3 children: Katrina, their eldest daughter, Fletcher, aged 10, and Mia, just 8 years old. The Hunts were respected and well-liked by the community. Their lives revolved around family, school, and farm work. There were no signs of trouble, no reason to believe tragedy was looming. Like many teenagers, Katrina Hunt experienced her first real romance during high school. She began dating Jack Edwards, a boy from the same area. At first, everything seemed normal. They went to parties, texted constantly, and even talked about a future together. But it didn't take long for Jack's true nature to emerge. Friends began to notice his possessiveness. He grew jealous, frequently checking in on Katrina, questioning her whereabouts, and demanding attention. Katrina's parents noticed the changes in their daughter. Kim Hunt, especially, grew worried. She encouraged Katrina to break it off before things got worse. Eventually, Katrina ended the relationship. The breakup did not sit well with Jack. In fact, it ignited something dangerous inside him. He couldn't accept rejection. He began stalking Katrina, showing up unexpectedly, bombarding her with messages and threatening her subtly. Katrina blocked him on social media. She avoided places where she might run into him. But Jack found other ways to keep tabs on her. His obsession was growing, and so was his rage. He began blaming Katrina and her family for his pain. In his twisted mind, they had taken something from him, and he was going to take something back. Jack Edwards' descent into darkness was deliberate. This wasn't a spontaneous act of violence. It was premeditated. He researched how to get a weapon. Despite strict gun laws in Australia, Jack managed to obtain a firearm through illegal means. Investigators would later find that he had written disturbing notes and drawn diagrams, planning the massacre. His goal? Not just to kill Katrina, but to make her suffer, to destroy her world. On a quiet morning in September 2014, the unthinkable happened. Jack entered the Hunt property, most likely through a back entrance. Armed with a shotgun, he moved from room to room. Greg Hunt was the first to be shot. Kim was next. Then he found Fletcher and Mia in their bedrooms and ended their young lives without hesitation. When he found Katrina, it wasn't to kill her right away. He wanted her to see what he had done. He wanted her to feel the pain he believed she caused him. In a moment of pure survival, Katrina fought back. She screamed, kicked, and escaped through a window. Barefoot and bloodied, she ran to a neighbor's house, begging for help. The neighbor immediately called the police. Jack fled into the bush. Police launched a massive search operation. Helicopters scanned the fields. Officers searched every corner of the surrounding area. The entire town was paralyzed with fear and sorrow. After hours of searching, Jack's body was found in the woods. He had turned the gun on himself. Next to his body was a notebook. In it, he blamed Katrina for everything. His final words were filled with hatred and delusion. Australia mourned. News outlets covered the Hunt family murders extensively. The horror of it all, the youth of the children, the senselessness, the betrayal. It struck a nerve. Katrina was taken in by extended family. She would never be the same. Psychologists and criminologists dissected the case. How did this happen? Could it have been prevented? Experts describe Jack Edwards as deeply narcissistic with violent tendencies. He couldn't tolerate loss of control. Katrina's independence shattered his illusion of dominance. His stalking behavior, emotional manipulation, and controlling nature were all red flags. Sadly, like many abusers, Jack masked his violence until it was too late. The tragedy raised tough questions. How did Jack access a gun? Were there signs that could have alerted police or school authorities? Was Katrina given enough support during the breakup? Australia's gun laws are strict, but not flawless. Mental health services for teens, particularly those showing obsessive tendencies, were found lacking. Despite unimaginable trauma, Katrina chose to survive. She began speaking to schools and community groups about dating violence and emotional abuse. Her message was simple: take red flags seriously. Don't ignore controlling behavior. Speak up. She became an advocate, helping others see the warning signs she missed. Greg, Kim, Fletcher, and Mia Hunt were innocent victims of a young man's fury. They will be remembered not for how they died, but for how they lived, with kindness, love, and dignity. A memorial now stands in Lockhart, a symbol of loss, but also of strength. This case is a chilling reminder. Love can become a weapon in the wrong hands. If you or someone you know is in a toxic or controlling relationship, don't wait. Reach out, get help, trust your instincts, and remember, no one ever has the right to destroy another life out of heartbreak.